not only G. G. Alkata, beta. Namaskar. Good morning. Harsh, good morning. Surangana, good morning, बच्चे. नमस्ते. Shalini, beta, good morning. Getting well. Alright, we'll wait for just one more minute and then we will begin. Bad right. So today we are going to take two letters because G and H don't say we don't have a lot of words. So yeah, let's try to cover them both together. Alright, let's start. Begin. क्या बात है, Harsh? I remember you had asked this word, if I'm not wrong, probably just 2 days back, right? I'm very happy to see you giving this word today. Gratuitous. Important word. Galvanize. Horrendous. Good. वैसे तो horrendous I'm sure सबको पता होगा. We'll just use it to check our current level. Garrulous. Shabash Surangna bachcha. The not that important a word because it's not very frequently used, so I won't take it, but good one anyway. Grave, तीर्था. ग्रेव तो सबको पता होगा, मतलब आई थिंक पता होगा सबको क्लास में. देखते हैं. ग्रेगरियस, नाइस. Gregarious. I know the meaning, but I'm not sure whether this word is high frequency है क्या? Gregarious. We'll see. Genealogy. All right. Gaff. Genuflect. Good. Important. Gaff, important. what Jamin Shabash Rangana. Important. Garner Ghastly. Garner तो पता होगा सबको. Let me take Ghastly. Ghastly is also important. Gabble. Gabble तो मुझको भी नहीं पता. पहला वर्ड आया मेरे लिए. Grandiose, good. So once again, I think in this class people would know the meaning. Gratify. Heinous. Griff. No idea, Tirtha. Grievous. Gab. Howl. Howl is a word which I have seen a lot of times, but I have forgotten it. Halcyon. ये तो I am sure ये पहले क्लास में आया है. And yet I don't remember the meaning. शाबाश. बढ़िया. अच्छा चल रहे हैं. Hilarious तो तीर्था. Everybody has to know the meaning of hilarious in this class. So, is there anybody who does not know the meaning of hilarious? तो नहीं लेंगे. Harbinger, alright. Let me also think. Havoc, Arpita, people would know. Hot. I have no idea how to even pronounce this word. Harangue, Shabash. But harangue लेंगे नहीं because I remember we had a very long discussion on harangue once. Heckler, yo. But not that important a word. Shabash, hush, yo. Grotesque, but I think तुम लोगों को पता होगा. Grotesque. Then had, not important. Garish is a word. Glib, not important. Herculean, yo. Hurl तो पता होगा सुरंग. I think everybody would know it. Hegemony, do you guys know? Heuristic. Hiatus वैसे पता होना चाहिए, but still I'm writing it because हो सकता है ना पता हो. Homophone, harsh, पता होना चाहिए सबको because it's clearly built on two different roots, homo and phone. नहीं भी पता होगा तो probably someone would be able to guess it. लिख लेता हूँ फिर भी. चलो. What else? Horrendous, hubris चलेगा. Gosh, good तीर्था. शाबाश बेटा. Genocide वैसे तो पता होगा. अब अगर जेनोसाइड ले रहे हैं then let's take Holocaust as well, even though once again I'm sure पता होगा सबको, but ना पता हो तो hypnagogic or gogic, I have no idea बच्चे. So genial. All right, great. Gullible वैसे तो अब तक कई बार हो चुका है वर्ड, so I won't take it, but I'll write it for sure because it's important. फिर भी बच्चे नमस्ते, जेनोफ्लेक्ट हो गया मेरा, आपके सामने ही है मेरी. So but I think it's all right. We have hedonism. Yo, it's important actually. बस काफ़ी है. ग्लिसन था पता होगा. हॉवेल हो गया है, लिखा हुआ था कहीं तो, आई रिमेम्बर. अर्पिता, गुड मॉर्निंग बेटा सुरभि. हॉवेल ये रहा. दैट्स इट. ठीक है, ऑल राइट. इतने वर्ड्स काफ़ी हैं, पेज भर गया. नाउ लेट्स स्टार्ट द डिस्कशन. बिफोर दैट 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 वर्ड हैं जो मेरे लिए, उसमें से 1 2 का मीनिंग चेक करने दो, विच आई कैन sort of remember that yeah, I have seen those words quite a few number of times, but उनका meaning मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा. So let me check their meanings quickly. पहले तो हॉवेल ही चेक करता हूँ because ये बहुत frequently used word है. I'm surprised नहीं याद है मुझे. Okay. ठीक है, तो अब चालू करते हैं. चालू कहाँ से किया जाएगा? Let's start with genuflect and germane, because I think we have done these words earlier someday in some class, तो एक quickly रिवीजन हो जाएगा. दोनों वर्ड्स अच्छे हैं. जेनोफ्लेक्ट का गिव मी ए क्लासी सिनोनिम इफ यू गाइस रिमेंबर. जिन लोगों को नहीं याद है, जेनोफ्लेक्ट मीन्स टू bow down. If I genuflect to you, that means for whatever reason, probably out of fear, probably out of respect, probably out of some other reason, but I am giving up my point for you. I am bowing down before you, accepting whatever you are saying. That is genuflect. Shabash Surana, tauta. So genuflect is precisely that, when you literally show willingness to do something that has been proposed. genuflect का literal meaning यही होता है bow down, but figurative usage is this: the government is genuflecting to the demands of the workers who have been who have been on strike for a month now. So, because the workers were on strike for a month, whatever they were demanding, finally the government has decided to agree to do that. That is genuflecting. So, out of deference, you can do that. Good. It is literally kowtowing. Give me a second, Jira. एक वर्ड याद आया जिसका रूप देखना है मेरे को. लेट मी राइट इट डाउन वरना मैं भूल जाऊँ. बहुत भूल था मैं पहले से, अब और हो गया हूँ. ठीक है, दैट इज जेनुफ्लेक्ट. तो इसी से मिलता जुलता एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड है जो मैं क्लास में 2-3 बार कवर करा चुका हूँ. आई मीन टू सॉर्ट ऑफ अग्री विथ समवन इवन दो यू डू नॉट. when internally, like, you want to go against someone, you don't agree with someone's opinion, but still because the person is saying it, suggesting it, you nod and you say, all right, I'll do it. There's a beautiful word for that. Starts with A. Yo, शाबाश सुरंग. Aqueous. So, मैं ये वर्ड बार बार इसीलिए ही याद करा रहा हूँ because if you see this word in an RC passage and you don't properly understand, वैसे तो अगर ये आएगा तो if the author uses a word like this, chances would be that contextually he would have made its meaning a little clear as well. But this is a word that can dictate the tone of the passage, because it has that hidden connotation that I am agreeing to do something even though principally I don't agree with the suggestion. Yet I am nodding my head and saying I will do it. That unwillingness, that unwillingly doing things, saying yes to do things, that is there in this aqueous, which is why again and again I am reminding you this word. Adulation can lead to genuflection or kowtowing before someone. Kalpita. Different from genuflection or kowtowing, but I am with you. When you adulate people, you tend to even acquiesce with them, or kowtow before them, or genuflect to their demands. Now let's come to German. अब जर्मन का रूट क्या है नहीं पता, बट जर्मन को हम याद कर सकते हैं जर्मन लोगों से. Pertinent. German people are notorious for being very to the point. Basically, the German lifestyle, the German people, they are very, how do I say it? Like in India, we take things very lightly. Office hours, ideally the office timings would be 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock. But we don't mind if we start it at 11. And then after starting, during the office hours, we do hell lot of stuff. We talk to each other, we chit chat, we hang out. Sometimes we go out to the market for shopping as well. We surf internet. browse catalogs on Amazon and Flipkart, and eventually we stretch the day. Instead of closing the day at 6 or 7 o'clock, we close it at 8, 9, or 10. Similar, so that's because we do a lot of things that are irrelevant to us at that point of time. That's the Indian way of living. We are a little loose in that nature. But German people don't do that. They are very well structured. When they say 9 to 6, it means 9 to 6. The office must start at 9, must end at 6, and during office hours, you are not supposed to do anything else. It is actually frowned upon there if they come across people who are not working during office hours. So you work during office hours, you do only relevant things, you go back home, and there you don't work on office work, you do only relevant things which are relevant to your home. You spend time with your family, you participate in the household activities, all those things. Point is, they only focus on the relevant tasks. सो टू बी ऑनेस्ट अभी अर्पिता जो लास्ट वाला वर्ड दिया बेटा कोई आइडिया नहीं है, पहले कभी सुना भी नहीं है. आई एम अमेज्ड एंड वेरी हैप्पी दैट यू हैव यूज्ड दिस वर्ड, बट या नो आइडिया. So germane in very basic terms is relevant. If I say that something is not germane to this discussion, that means you are deviating, you are digressing from the topic, and now we are discussing something that was not relevant. Anything germane to a scientific experiment, that means once again, now we are not deviating. Whatever we are working on, that is very much a root part, a very much a requirement of that experiment. That is germane. And another word, pertinent, that is very similar to that. Something pertinent to something is which is very which is directly connected to that. So it's not exactly relevant, but indirectly it is relevant. Pertinent means in relation to something. When I say that a discussion on the history of women development would be quite pertinent to the modern feminism or to the modern feminist, I am trying to say it will be very useful for them because it is directly connected to it. So pertinent in a way is relevant. But मैंने पहले भी कभी याद दिलाया होगा, दोबारा दिला रहा हूँ, pertinent का जो opposite होता है, impertinent. That does not mean irrelevant. Impertinent means something entirely different. It means rude, imprudent. Or impudent, yo. No, it's actually impudent, not imprudent. मैंने एक R extra लगा दिया इसमें, ध्यान दिया. Yo, it is impudent. So impertinent is rude, impertinent or impudent. There are many other words to describe rudeness. Insouciant is there. Then, but ठीक है, वो discussion हम कभी और करेंगे. For the time being, we just should remember that pertinent का opposite, which is impertinent, that does not mean irrelevant. It is rude. I mean, the base premise would obviously be irrelevant only. When you are talking irrelevant things to me, you are being rude. But वो irrelevant sense में इसका usage is no more. Completely जा चुका है. It's only rude now. Felicitous and appurtenant. अभी ये appurtenant का तो मुझको कोई आइडिया नहीं है, but I trust you, अर्पिता. Yet for my own understanding, let me check the meaning, बच्चे. ओके, बाद में अच्छे से पढ़ना पड़ेगा ये वर्ड. Felicitous on the other hand, kiddo, felicitous would be different. To appurtenant भी पढ़ना पड़ेगा मुझको. Word meaning पहली बार देख के I felt it might be different from germane or pertinent, but because I don't know, so I won't say anything. Felicitous would be different, unless and until there is a meaning that I am forgetting, because a lot of words have less popular hidden meanings. So if that's the case, then I don't know. Otherwise, how do I explain felicitous? What would felicitous be? It would more be like कैसे ही एक्सप्लेन करूँ मैं? Celebratory, no, celebratory is also not right. ठीक है, even felicitous is for me. I genuinely am not able to pin down on a way to explain it. ठीक है, felicitous also goes in there. Alright. ठीक है जी. तो अभी के लिए we will be done with germane and genuflect. Grandiose symbol है, पर हम लेंगे तब भी. harangue बहुत बार ले चुके हैं. We'll come to hegemony. Holocaust, everybody knows. Is there anybody who does not know Holocaust here? Because I do remember, I'm not sure मैंने हमारी वाली क्लास में लिया था कि नहीं लिया था, but whenever a word this Holocaust comes, because it's an important historical event, I do explain it a lot in classes. So अगर नहीं पता हो तो बताओ, otherwise I won't take this word. Hedonism we have to take. Garb we will take. ठीक है. Let's start with garb. Simple word है, बहुत simple word है. A garb is a cloth. A garb is an attire. That's the literal meaning of garb. So anything can be a garb. मतलब not anything. वो full length गाउन टाइप के देखें जो यूजुअली रिलीजियस सेक्ट्स में लोग पहनते हैं. हैरी पॉटर में डम्बलडोर क्या स्कूल्स में बहुत सारे लोग पहना करते थे. फॉर दैट मैटर, दैट एंटायर वन लॉन्ग ड्रेस दैट कैन कवर यू फ्रॉम नेक टू योर लेग्स, दैट इज यूजुअली अ garb. दैट्स द लिटरल मीनिंग. बट लिटरल मीनिंग we will keep it aside, because that is important only for fictional novels. Non-fiction में वो नहीं होता. उस literal meaning से we have got a phrase. The phrase is under the garb of something. This is important for us. Whenever we say that someone is doing something under the garb of some other thing. For an example, the government is trying to tweak the basic rights given to the citizens of this country by the constitution under the garb of tackling the current pandemic. अगर मैं ये बोलूँ, then I am saying that disguise, under the disguise पे भी आएंगे, under the disguise of helping people, of tackling a pandemic, a problem in hand, the government is actually trying to play with the constitution. So ये जो help करना है, this is just a मुखौटा, this is just a disguise, मतलब to sort of क्या हो रहा है आज? Why am I? These are simple words. Okay, disguise means once again to छुपा लेना खुद को, hide कर लेना behind what? Behind an artificial look. Usually spy movies में तुम देखते होंगे ना, वो a lot of times those agents and spies वो अपना पूरा का पूरा चेहरा बदल के, मास्क पहन के, विग्स लगा के, they do something. That is a disguise. A disguise is basically an artificial look that is intended to hide your actual face, actual appearance. That is a disguise, and it's a very commonly used word in fiction, in non-fiction as well, to be honest. So when you do something under the disguise of something or under the garb of something, it means तुमने अपने true intentions छुपा लिए, okay? और true intentions छुपा के तुम कोई काम करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो. So ये दोनों words in that context are really important. और यहाँ से हमको साइड में एक यूजेज मिलता है, betray. Betray, यूँ तो it's an extremely popular word. Betray means धोखा देना, but there is an expression or a phrase which is to betray one's something, to betray one's expressions, to betray one's intentions, which means which does not mean धोखा देना, it means actual intention दिखा देना. For an example, once again, under the garb of helping people, the government is actually trying to tweak the constitution and take away people's fundamental rights from them. Or we can say under the garb or disguise of providing more security and freedom to Hong Kong, the Chinese government is actually imposing itself on its citizens. But their actions betray their words. मतलब जैसे अभी चाइनीज गवर्नमेंट ने जो न्यू लॉ हांगकांग में अनाउंस की थी, उसको यूज करते हुए दे ऑलरेडी announced that they are going to initiate action probably against 6 lakh people in Hong Kong, and only because those people participated in an election, and as per the Chinese government that election was illegal now. So their action now, it betrayed their original claims or words, means it showed their actual intention कि वो क्या था. तो ये to betray one's something, ये भी एक phrase है, ये भी एक expression है, which is very important, and it means to show one's true intention. Alright, disguise के, are there any other good synonyms? Can you guys think of some? There are actually. I can think of two now. Both are important. Disguise. नहीं, एक भी नहीं. Okay, there are two direct synonyms. One is masquerade. Spelling I'm not sure सही है कि नहीं है. It may be A here or it may be something else. And another one is अब इसकी स्पेलिंग को मुझे देखनी पड़ेगी. Camouflage. Camouflage. Yo, CAMOUFLAGE, camouflage. Both these words mean precisely they are synonymous to disguise, मतलब छिपा लेना. इनमें masquerade is a little more important. हालांकि है camouflage भी, but camouflage is the type of word that you see in fiction a little more. Masquerading politics में बहुत use होता है. Which is why it becomes important for us. Masquerading and disguise, similarly economic policies के time पे criticism के लिए बहुत use होता है. Camouflage उस sense में वहाँ पे use नहीं होता, because उसका actual literal meaning थोड़ा सा अलग है. Which is why camouflage spy fiction novels में बहुत ज़्यादा use होता है. But masquerading literally means mask पहन लेना. That is masquerading. So if you are masquerading, if a politician is masquerading as the Masiha of the poor, that means okay. Surangana, Arpita and Harsh, you guys had given me words. I'll come to them. So if a politician is masquerading as the Masiha of the poor, that means in reality the guy's intentions are bad. He is camouflaging those intentions. He is disguising those intentions under the garb of being an altruistic person who cares for poor. And he is masquerading as a good person. He has worn the mask of a good person. So usually masquerading का जो usage है, it has a slight negative connotation. Positive में genuinely नहीं याद मैंने अगर कभी देखा. Even neutral में भी. Whenever we use the हो सकता है होता हो पर मुझे पता ना हो. But usually a word masquerade जब भी use होता है, it is used in a negative sense only. If someone is masquerading as someone else, does it have a negative connotation? Garb? Even this has a slight negative connotation. It does. Dissemble Tirtha is different beta. Once again, unless and until there is a hidden meaning, some which I am not sure of, which I don't know, but otherwise dissemble should be different. So under the garb of something also has a slight negative connotation. Disguise does not. Disguise is a word जो it can be used in a neutral sense as well. If I'm giving you a suggestion, if I'm telling you that you have to do it disguised as this, maybe you have to do something good. Maybe I'm asking you to be like Bruce Wayne. Or no, not Bruce Wayne. Batman, yeah, disguised as a bat. But under the garb of something, ये phrase used तभी होता है when we try to say that the person is trying to hide a negative thing. तो यानी कि person बुरा है और कुछ अच्छा बनने की कोशिश कर रहा है. Same as with masquerading. Usually वो masquerading, we cannot say Batman is masquerading. कभी सुना नहीं. once again, लिटरली बोलने तो होना चाहिए क्योंकि लिटरल मीनिंग मास्क पहनना है, बट कभी सुना नहीं है. जितनी बार भी देखा है वो हमेशा इसी सेंस में देखा है that if someone is masquerading as someone else, the person is trying to hide his actual identity, which is probably bad, and which is why he is masquerading or she is masquerading as a good person, which means they both have a negative connotation. Inconspicuous, Harsh, is different. Incognito, what Arpita said, that is closer to these. Incognito, ये तो सबको पता होगा बिकॉज सबके ब्राउजर में इनकॉग्निटो मोड है. बट इनकॉग्निटो एंड इनकॉग्निटो भी इन दोनों से थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है अर्पिता. आई विल कम टू इनकॉग्निटो, आई विल कम टू इनकॉन्स्पिक्यूअस. They both are close. Then we have another word, discreet. All these three words are close to the word surreptitious. अगर सुना हो तो I think सुना होगा because someone had given this word in the class when we were discussing the letter S. Surreptitiously, you do things surreptitiously means you have to do it secretively. But to masquerade means to wear the mask of being something else. Not only doing something secretively, now you have become something else. It's a different level altogether. Surreptitiously means you are just trying to hide something. Masquerading means you portray yourself to be something else altogether. दोनों के connotation में, दोनों की degree में, दोनों के meaning में बहुत different है. If I say, yes, clandestine is surreptitious, beta, you're surreptitious. So if I say the government is implementing its policy surreptitiously, that means चोरी चोरी चुपके चुपके बिना लोगों को बताए government is doing. If they are doing it discreetly, शांति से बिना हो हल्ला मचाए, in an incognito mode, so that people's attention is not invited. They are doing it inconspicuously once again, so that the media does not focus on them. That's how they are moving forward. But if I say they are masquerading as someone else, now my point is we cannot focus. No one stands a chance because they are selling it as something else altogether. Now they don't have to be surreptitious or discreet, incognito or inconspicuous. It's a bad thing, but they are selling it as good, so no one will even doubt their intention. So they are now not doing things surreptitiously, they are doing it conspicuously in people's face. But for an example, तुम्हारा ये CA, I mean I'm not at all a supporter of CA. So CAA for me is a good example of how masquerading, because even the CAA can be used as a tool, if not by this government, then by future governments, as a tool to harass people. It is being sold as a tool to help the country maintain its sovereignty. So that is masquerading. Aloof is similar to incognito. No, bachche, aloof surangna is very different. Aloof is have you come across a person who is lost? That is aloof. Incognito is intentionally when you do things in such a manner that you don't invite people's attention. You are doing it discreetly, surreptitiously, in a clandestine manner. That is incognito. Aloof means first of it's like lost. An aloof person is उसको aloof person को ये नहीं पता होता मेरे आजू बाजू क्या चल रहा है. If I am aloof, I won't notice that you have joined the class or what is happening in this room. Maybe someone would be killing another person out in the street, but I am aloof enough to not notice that. That is aloof. If I am incognito, other people won't be able to notice me because intentionally I am maintaining a low profile. So even if I am killing someone out there in the street, people won't notice that because I am incognito. I am good at hiding it, maintaining a very low profile, and people won't doubt me. That's the basic difference. Closer to unobtrusive बिल्कुल different है. Harsh, once again, doer कौन है? वो है. Unobtrusive means if I am doing something in an unobtrusive way, I am not poking you. I am not sort of making it complicated for you. But if it is discrete, incognito, or inconspicuous, then I am not inviting attention from you on me. Now I am maintaining a low profile. Unobtrusive means I don't want to interrupt you. That is unobtrusive. If the government policy is unobtrusive, that means people will like it. That's it. People will like it because it does not poke people. It is people friendly. Clear है? सारे words clear है? So let me write clandestine here as well. Clandestine, surreptitious, discreet, incognito, inconspicuous. Inconspicuous तो easy to remember है क्योंकि conspicuous हम क्लास में बहुत बार कर चुके हैं. Right? When you do things conspicuously, उसका exact opposite is when you don't do things inconspicuously. मतलब you don't want to invite attention. Conspicuous is when you are inviting attention in your face. तो ये सब उसी के synonymous हैं. And masquerading and camouflage slightly different. Disguise is slightly different. Actually, not slightly, very different. So we can say in one sentence that the Britishers entered India masquerading as businessmen or disguised as businessmen or camouflaging themselves in the guise of a company, East India Company, and then for close to 100 plus years, they made their move discreetly, in a clandestine manner, or surreptitiously, or inconspicuously, or what? They remained incognito for 100 plus years, understood the complexity, the nature of the country, and then took advantage of it to control us. So basically for 100 plus years they were making their move, but no one noticed it. Or we can say all the kings and the rulers of our country were aloof enough not to see the true intentions behind their under their garb of what you call it, pleasantries. Pleasantry is not a good word here. They were aloof enough not to see their true intentions, hidden under the garb of what? Business. Once again, that's it. Because they actually portrayed themselves as businessmen. ठीक है. This garb, नन्ना सा garb था. I genuinely didn't think इतना लंबा चल जाएगा. Harangue, hegemony पे आते हैं पहले hegemony, then we will come to harangue. Before we discuss hegemony, let me just search something, because accordingly I will decide how to. नहीं नहीं मिला अनफॉर्चुनेटली जो ढूंढ रहा था. ठीक है. एनीवे, हेगेमोनी एज अ टर्म बिजनेस रिलेशंस में, इंटरनेशनल पॉलिटिक्स में, इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस में एंड इन अ लॉट ऑफ अदर कॉन्टेक्स्ट यूज होता है. इवन सोशोलॉजी में भी यूज होता है टू बी ऑनेस्ट, बिकॉज स्पेशली जब हम एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री की बात करते हैं, हिस्टोरिकली I mean, if you read human history, it's filled with wars. It's filled with violence. We are, in general, violent people, humans. It's a very weird species, objectively speaking. And most of the wars happened for control. Even now, if you say the Chinese army, military, they actually included Indian territory because they wanted to prove their dominance. They wanted to prove their control. And that dominance or control is actually called hegemony. The literal meaning of hegemony is control or dominance. But it's a classy term for that. एंड मैं वही ढूंढ रहा था बिकॉज ये मॉनी जो है दिस हैज गिवन अस सम अदर वर्ड्स एज वेल जो मेरे को याद नहीं आ रहे थे. आई वाज होपिंग के मुझे रूट मिल जाएगा, बट आई डिडंट फाइंड इट. द रूट एंटायरली इज डिफरेंट ऑफ दिस वर्ड, सो वील स्किप दैट पार्ट. बट पॉइंट इज hegemony in simple words is nothing but dominance or control, not arbitrary. Not arbitrary. Harsh, very different. Unless and until your intention of using this word was something different, because I know you, according to me, you know the meaning of arbitrary. I feel that. But ठीक है. Coming to hegemony again, इसका कोई usage अगर मैं तुम्हें दिखाऊं, we can say that under Trump administration, the hegemony of US, the hegemony of US in the world is under threat. Why? Because for a long time the US has been the dominant force in the world. कुछ भी ले लो तुम, UN ले लो, NATO ले लो, चाहे तुम कोई भी डील ले लो, the US has been the one country that dictates कि क्या होगा, क्या नहीं होगा. The United States has been that one country that has been waging wars against multiple other countries. That dominance is hegemony. But once again, ये सिर्फ वो एक example है. It can be extended to anything. I can say that once again, if let's say हम यूपी की politics की बात करें, अब तो नहीं रहा, but at one point of time, SP party, it had a hegemony which was challenged by multiple other parties, but almost all of them failed. But finally now some party has succeeded. So China is trying to gain it. China is, well, yeah, now not, but that's what the regime is, Chinese regime. They always want to gain territories. But they have already gained a lot of territories. China was not always this big. Okay. Yeah, actually sorry. China की हिस्ट्री बहुत कमाल है, बहुत. सोशोलॉजी अगर किसी को समझनी हो तो बिना चाइना को पढ़े समझा ही नहीं जा सकता. It's a beautiful case study. Historical, now also. So that is hegemony. Similarly, now we can say that the ASEAN countries are trying to come together under the, what you call it, leadership of America to challenge China's increasing hegemony, in the which one, North China Sea or South China Sea? भूल गया. जो भी sea है उनका, which is a contentious territory in that area, in that region. So that is hegemony in plain simple vanilla South China. So South China Sea, in the South China Sea region. So in plain simple vanilla words, hegemony is nothing but dominance or control. But it's a classy word to describe that dominance. That's it. No other thing. Literally dominance. But you should know it because of how frequently it is used in. अभी मैंने इतने सारे एग्जाम्पल दिए, ये सारे एग्जाम्पल मेरे दिमाग में इसलिए आए बिकॉज प्रॉबली आई एक्चुअली सॉ देम समवेयर. बिकॉज इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, ये इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, द वर्ड हेगोमनी इज एक्चुअली यूज्ड वेरी वाइडली, इफ नॉट इन इंडिया देन आउटसाइड इंडिया एटलीस्ट. तो बहुत ज़्यादा कॉमनली यूज्ड वर्ड है, which is why it's very important for you to know it. Unfortunately, I am not able to give you any root because जो root इसका मिला मेरे को, that was of no use. तो ऐसे ही याद करना पड़ेगा. Create a few sentences. Then I can already think of one sentence combining masquerading camouflage, disguise under the garb of something, and hegemony, and then connected with the to betray one's intent something. I can actually already think of a sentence that can combine all these words and this entire range as well. Obviously, when we cover this, we can cover this entire range. So maybe just create a sentence and yeah, it will work. Preponderance. Preponderance. बेटा चेक करना पड़ेगा, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है दिस इज अ वेरी वेरी डिफरेंट वर्ड. लेट मी चेक इट करो. Okay, it does mean almost the same thing. All right. Yo, Britishers, they established their hegemony during colonization. I am with you. So, abhi ho gaya hegemony, which was an important word. Holocaust, I am assuming everybody knows, so I am not covering Holocaust. Genocide, simple है, यहीं की यहीं लेके ख़त्म करते हैं. It is genos. अच्छा ठीक है यार, हालांकि मुझे पसंद नहीं है टू बी ऑनेस्ट ये करना, बट अभी कोई और ऑप्शन बचा नहीं है. So let me do it. आज बता देता हूँ फाइनली. वैसे ये सबको पता होगा, साइड इज टू किल, सो क्विकली बता रहा हूँ मैं. And genos in this case is mass people. Yes, me knew, but I am not able to get the context. बच्चे तो ये क्यों बोला अचानक से, और या फिर ये मेरे पास बहुत लेट आया है. Probably that's what has happened. ये मैसेज मेरे पास बहुत लेट आया, कभी कभी ऐसा होता है. So genos is masses. So genocide becomes when you kill mass, a lot of people together. So genocide का best example was Holocaust, in which Germany killed millions of Jews. So but side ने हमको बहुत सारे words दिए हैं. To be honest, they are not at all important. Still they are taught everywhere because they are easy to teach, because side एक root है जिसके ऊपर इतने सारे words हैं. तो वो sororicide, fratricide, matricide, and patricide and regicide. Probably regicide is an important word. We will take that. But there are many sororicide. There are many sides. Basically जिसका भी murder किया जा रहा हो उसके वो साइड. होमिसाइड, कल्पेबल होमिसाइड एक वर्ड होता है, विच मीन्स जस्ट टू किल अनदर ह्यूमन बीइंग, दैट इज होमिसाइड. सो जिस भी चीज के आगे साइड लगा दो, इट इज दैट पर्सन, दैट टाइप ऑफ पर्सन्स मर्डर. सो आई वोंट राइट दीज वर्ड्स बिकॉज एज आई सेड, टू बी ऑनेस्ट, दे आर नॉट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Regicide becomes important because हिस्ट्री के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में यू कैन सी दिस वर्ड अ लॉट. रेजिसाइड प्लस रेजिसाइड की जो रूट है वो आया है, उसी ने हमको वर्ड दिया है रेजीम, एंड रेजीम इज ऑल्सो प्रीटी इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड. इसी ने हमको वर्ड दिया है रीगल. रीगल एज अ वर्ड इज इम्पॉर्टेंट, ऑल ऑफ यू शुड नो. तो रीगल क्या होता है? रॉयल, किंगली, वो रूलिंग क्लास, दे आर रीगल पीपल. सो रेजिसाइड, सिमिलरली रेजीम क्या होता है? किसी का वो दैट टाइम पीरियड इन विच समवन वाज रूलिंग अ पर्टिकुलर प्लेस और कंट्री और पर्टिकुलर पीपल, टाइप ऑफ पीपल. सो रेजीम सिर्फ और सिर्फ किंग्स के लिए यूज नहीं होता, रेजीम गवर्नमेंट्स के लिए भी यूज होता है. वी कैन से दैट अंडर द करंट रेजीम, विच मीन्स द बीजेपी, under the current regime, unfortunately, India has faced unprecedented challenges at both domestic and international levels. So the government, apart from having made a lot of mistakes, the government has been a little unlucky as well. We can say that. So वो है current regime, यानी कि current period of rule. That is regime. Important word. So regicide क्या हुआ? It's the murder of a ruler. And our history, once again, internationally, global history, it is filled with instances of regicide. For a long time in this world, जब तक दुनिया को डेमोक्रेसी नहीं मिली थी, जब तक दुनिया को डेमोक्रेसी नहीं मिली थी, तब तक दुनिया में the most popular method of changing a king was regicide, which is why it is probably an important word, क्योंकि इतनी बार हुआ है across the world. राजाओं का मर्डर इतना कॉमन था, कोई भी मार देता था उठा करके, as long as you have a reach. So yeah, that's it. So साइड से दो इम्पॉर्टेंट जो वर्ड हैं वो प्रॉबली जेनोसाइड एंड रेजिसाइड, ये पता हूँ काफ़ी है. बाकी साइड दिखे तो मर्डर हो रहा है, रेसिनेशन एंड होमिसाइड. अभी मैं जरा कमेंट देखूँ क्या बोला है. In the process of conquering they showed hegemony as they were quite dominant. If this is what you meant, all right. Okay, cool, great. ठीक है जी, तो ये हुआ genocide. Genocide is also done. अब क्या लें? एक लास्ट वर्ड लेते हैं यार. You guys decide. Garish, hubris, or grandiose, or harbinger. Harbinger has to important. Harbinger has to important. और gratuitous, all are important. gratuitous आई थिंक मैंने अभी क्लास में क्योंकि एक्सप्लेन किया था 2-3 दिन पहले, एटलीस्ट एक बार. gratuitous रिवाइज कर लें, इट्स एन इम्पॉर्टेंट वर्ड. आर्ट्स एंड लिटरेचर में काफ़ी यूज होता है. gratuitous रिवाइज करते हैं ताकि दिमाग में बैठ ही जाए. hubris, चलो 2 वोट आए हैं hubris पे, तो hubris लेते हैं फिर यार. जैसे ऊपर हेगेमोनी था, that's the case with hubris. It's just another classy word for pride, but it has a negative connotation. It's not the good type of pride. Let me check it. ऐसा ना हो मैं गलत बता दूँ, मुझे थोड़ा सा डाउट हो रहा है. Yeah. So, see, pride as a word is beautiful. I love this word because of the different connotations it can take. Pride can be extremely positive, right? You should have, you are an Indian, you should be proud of it. At the same time, pride can be extremely negative as well. Depending on how I use it, your pride will be the cause of your fall. ये जो second connotation है, negative वाली, only that is hubris. Positive वाली नहीं. Positive वाली के लिए हमारे पास बाकी और word हैं. We have prestige. Purely negative वाली के लिए the word is hubris. There are some other words जो हैं but वो इतने classy नहीं है. We have smugness. If a person is घमंड, वो भी एक अलग ही लेवल का घमंड. That is hubris. So that is hubris. So hubris बहुत ज़्यादा यूज होता है once again पुराने लिटरेचर में. वो के when we talk about kings and noblemen, that's the type of era with which we relate the word hubris. I'll say arrogance थोड़ा छोटा है hubris के सामने. Arrogance, even you can be arrogant, Arpita. I can be arrogant. Arrogant simply means that we are impudent. We are impudent because we consider ourselves to be bigger than what we are. But hubris is, yes, it is good in a way, conceit, but once again bigger than conceit as well. So we are conceited, and so the hubris has clouded our judgment, or it will. As I said, the best example would be वो kings and noblemen जो अपनी power को लेके, जो अपने status को लेके उस level पे पहुंच जाते थे. That is hubris. Conceit is still way more close to it rather than arrogance. Arrogance तो बहुत छोटा सा word है in that regard. So that is hubris. Nothing else. Plain simple सा word, but बहुत popular है, बहुत कॉमनली यूज होता है, एंड सिर्फ और सिर्फ उसी कॉनोटेशन में, उसी सेंस में यूज होता है. हॉटियर इज सिमिलर टू hubris. आई थिंक या इट इज. आई थिंक यस इट इज. मुझे चेक करना पड़ेगा, बट आई थिंक यस इट इज, क्योंकि हॉटियर से जो बेस वर्ड है सेम हैज गिवन अस हॉटी, एंड let me check it. Yo, इसका pronunciation क्या है? Hotter, yeah. Yes, बच्चा. एक पूरा एग्जाम्पल. अच्छा सुरंगा, लेट मी थिंक ऑफ एन एग्जाम्पल बेटा. सो हॉटर इज ऑल्सो द सेम थिंग, ह्यूब्रिस. हॉटर और हॉटी ये दोनों सेम रूट वर्ड्स हैं. रूट वर्ड का मीनिंग मैं भूल गया हूँ, बट हॉटी इज समवन जिसको अपने पोजीशन का घमंड हो गया. Basically, you can say a politician can be haughty, or a civil servant can be haughty. कि अब तो मैं डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट में कलेक्टर बन गया हूँ. कलेक्टर की पावर पता है तुम्हें क्या होती है? That is a haughty person. But haughty is not that important a word. मतलब यूज तो होता है, but hauteur and hubris, they are more important because of the type of texts that they are used in. अभी इनके एग्जाम्पल लेट मी क्रिएट अ सेंटेंस. ओके, तो वी कैन से, लेट्स से मैं नाम भूल गया उसका, देयर वाज अ रोमन किंग, नो सॉरी, ग्रीक किंग, या ही वाज haughty is a, I'll say, a very simple word to describe that guy. So there was a Greek king, नाम भूल गया मैं, उनके नाम बड़े difficult to remember होते हैं for someone like me especially. So we can say that let's take the example of some other king only. कोई king का नाम बताओ यार. Can we take, okay, let's say ABC king. So overpowered by the hubris of okay, let's say that he had defeated all his neighbors and taken control of their wealth and their lands and their people, and established his hegemony in the region completely, and thus overpowered by the hubris of uh, of wealth and power and what you call it, sheer dominance. He eventually commanded his subjects to start worshipping him as a god. There is a Greek king who literally did that. मैं नाम भूल गया हूँ उसका. So that means कि अपनी wealth and power and अपना vast region of control देख के the guy was so overpowered by hubris or hotter और अब conceit इसके सामने थोड़ा छोटा word है, और that pride, that he eventually commanded his subjects in this case would be citizens, जिनको वो rule कर रहा था, to worship him as a god. Is that clear? All great. तो that's pretty much it. आज के लिए काफ़ी करते हैं. It's 9:45 हो गया. फिर मिलेंगे, अब मिलेंगे हम परसों को, सैटरडे को, एंड या फिर कल क्लास में शाम को, एंड दोपहर में. आई मीन those of you who would be coming there, then we will meet today in the afternoon. ठीक है जी. तो that's pretty much it. Yo Arpita, outstanding, perfect. I'm not sure whether you have used the word exuberant here correctly or not, because exuberant is a positive word and hubris is a negative word. To be honest, since it's the example of a fictional novel, it will be definitely acceptable because कर सकते हो आप. पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव वर्ड्स का कॉम्बिनेशन बिल्कुल परफेक्टली फाइन होता है फिक्शन में, बट वेदर इट्स द परफेक्ट यूजेज ऑफ एक्सुबरेंट, आई डोंट नो. जस्ट चेक कर लेना. आई विल ऑल्सो चेक. ठीक है, चलो तो चलते हैं. टाटा, बाय बाय, राम राम.